What's up guys, Chasing Laming here with our Season 2/3 transfer special on Robin's Revival. On the other side of this video I'm going to go through who has already been arranged to come in. We're right at the start of the transfer and I'm literally picking this up straight after yesterday's episode. And then we'll skip to the end and I'll show you what other business got done, who came in, who came out, you know the drill. We'll have a look, other side of the intro, like, subscribe, do your thing. See you in a sec. So here we are, we're back. We've come back at the end of the window rather than going through the whole window like we did last time. I thought it was easier that way. I'm going to introduce you to the new signings and then we'll show you who we're saying goodbye to. Let's quickly go through that as well. I say quickly, a lot of players. We'll go through them as fast as we possibly can. So first up is Sadio Toure. He can play centre-half, right-back, Czech under-21 international. Very good player. He's coming from Cheltenham. And he has cost us the grand sum of 325k. I've spent a lot of money in this window, about £2.5 million I've spent in this window. He's one for the future, more than for now, as you can see. I'm going to try and loan him out this season because he's our 6th choice right back. And I feel like 6th choice right back is probably someone we need to be loaning out. He's got some good potential, and I think he's probably going to reach it, but it's going to take him a little bit of time. So we'll get used to having him around. And once we've got him around, you know, we'll see what he can become. Next up, coming in for £250,000, another one for the future who may play a little bit in cup competitions this season, is Finlay Burns, comes in from Manchester City. I have spent £250,000 on a player who has never played a professional game. Scares me a little bit, but I think he'll come good. He looks like a solid player, and I think we can get his determination up and really sort of encourage him to develop. He could become a real star for us. Next, a bargain signing, £15,000 from Hull, Jaroslav Żak, who is a Polish international centre-half. Doesn't quite have any pace to him, which is a slight concern. Can play left-back as well a little bit. Mostly a centre-half, will be one of the best centre-halves at the club, as you can see, and done a very good job for us, or will do a very good job for us. He's played a lot of Championship football. He's done well in the Championship in the past. He's had a great career previously, player for Palace. He's been to Moldova and back to Poland and Holland. He's been all over the place. I think he'll be something of a good signing for us. I also spent £400,000 on Jamie Bowden from Tottenham. Deep-lying playmaker. He can play defensively or in the midfield where we usually use him. Apparently our 5th choice centre midfielder, but we'll see. I think he's got potential. A returning hero to the club, Thompson. He has come back to us from Portsmouth. He cost me £23,000, which I think is a bargain. He's played a lot of football at very good levels, lots of League One football, some Championship football. We sold him for £650k, brought him back for 23, much more experienced. Hopefully, if he can stay injury-free, he'll be a really top signing for us. I also spent £12,000 on Scotland international Jordan Rhodes. I know he's 33, he's got no pace left, but I think as an option from the bench, maybe, he's probably quite a good shout as a striker. And a returning face, Romani Critchlow, £850,000 I spent to bring him back from Wigan. They made a great profit on him. He played pretty well for them in the Championship last year, even if he only made 11 appearances. But we know he fits in our system. We know he can double up as a left-back as well as a centre-half. And he's just a player who did well for us in the first season. I think having him back is going to be a real boost to us, especially because he can provide that little bit of versatility. I also spent £28,000 on centre-half Will Boyle, who has come in from Cheltenham. I think he's going to be mostly a backup for us, but having him around, he's got experience, he's got some leadership skills, he's going to bring a lot to the club mentally as well as being able to fill in when we need him to on the pitch. Another youngster, I spent £185,000 on Charles Sago, a right winger from Cardiff. Again, I think one we're going to develop for the future. I don't see him getting a lot of football this season. In fact, while I'm thinking about it now, I'm going to add him to the development list because that's probably a good move. We'll see how he develops in the long term. Also from Cardiff, £2,500 for Marlon Pack, another deep-lying playmaker, central midfielder, really solid option in central midfield. I know he's 32, but that experience I think is going to really help us. He's played in the Championship forever, has a lot of Bristol City connections, which I'll try and grin and bear, but he's been playing Championship football now for 8-9 consecutive seasons. I think he's probably got that experience that's going to really help us out. Striker Chris Long joins us for £11,000 from Crewe. He can play on either wing as well, but it's as a forward I'm planning on using him for the most part. And I think, again, more experience. Not necessarily at Championship level. He doesn't have a lot in the way of Championship experience. He did some time with Motherwell. He's done a lot of time in League One. And he's done some time in the Championship with Brentford and with Burnley, but very much I think we're looking at this guy as being backup striker who can maybe come in and do a job, maybe surprise us a little bit. One thing I quite like about this guy is he's got a little bit of pace to him, but he should be able to do a solid 90 minutes without tiring, and I think that's probably going to be quite beneficial this season. We brought in Luke Thomas from Barnsley for £150,000. He's a winger and an attacking midfielder and a player I think we can do some really good business with. I think we can develop him. He's going to play quite a lot of football. I think we can develop him into something of a force for the club. Again, he's got a lot of experience at Championship level, at League 1 and 2 level. He's been around for a while, and I just think he's one of those players who's been waiting for the right club to blossom at, and I think this could be it for him. I also brought in Ben Liddell for £100,000 from Bristol Rovers. I've immediately loaned him out to Burton just because I had to make some adjustments to my squad for registration purposes. He's got a little bit of potential that he can kind of develop, and I think having him dropping down to Burton for a season might actually help him find that very quickly. I signed two brothers as well. One is Ishmael Uladmand, who came in from Arsenal on a free. He's got some really big potential. He's not got a work permit, but I'm going to try and loan him out and see if we can develop him into a player that can get a work permit. I think he's got potential to be somewhere top end of the Championship, maybe a Premier League player going into the future, which is something I'm really looking for. And his brother, also from Arsenal, is Sadio Toure, another central midfielder. Same situation, really. He's a lot of potential to develop. He does have a work permit, which helps a lot. I've loaned him out to Mansfield. He's playing in League 2. I think getting in that little bit more experience is probably going to be a real benefit to his development as well. Both of those players came on frees as well, so no loss if I have to sell them. Our first returnee, £300,000, finally secures Tyrese Simpson as a permanent fixture at the county ground. We know how good this guy is. I don't have to tell you. His goal-scoring record for us speaks for itself. That 38 goal in 42 league appearance season, first season, sold him to us. Unfortunate with injuries last season, but he's ours now. We can look after him and we can maybe turn him into a star. Likewise, I spent £400,000 to keep Mark Helm at the club. He was really good for us last season as well. 9 goals, 30 appearances. Very good player. Gives us another option in that central attacking midfield role with Jack Payne. Being able to rotate those two, obviously Helm more potential. So going forward, expect him to be the star, I think, to replace Jack Payne. We may look to sell Jack Payne at the end of the season. But for now, we've got Mark Helm in the boat, and that's a really good signing for us. I also kept Ethan Ennis. He was on loan with us last season. Didn't play. £375,000 I spent on him. But I'm going to try and loan him out and see if he can develop into a real player for us. Well. He's got some big potential. Got that determination that usually turns a decent player into a great player. I just want to see how he can come along, I think. Because I looked at him when we signed him on loan. He wasn't quite ready for us. But I thought, long term, this is a Championship player. So let's hope he does in fact become a Championship player. Very similarly, I spent £105,000 to keep Charlie Savage here as well. He was on loan at the back end of last season. He's very versatile. He's decent over a set piece. He's got that potential to develop, and I think having him be here to develop is probably quite good for him as a long-term prospect. Also, using our connection with Manchester United, I've brought in Mark Girardo on loan. He's going to be our right back probably for the season. Obviously, we lost Kane Kessler-Hayden. I needed a replacement. This guy fits the bill perfectly. He's very quick, very determined. I don't think we're going to keep him permanently because he's got some big potential. I think United are going to look at him on loan with us if he has a good season and want to try and get him in their first team. But we'll enjoy him while we've got him. Likewise, on loan from United, Alejandro Garnacho. He is a right winger, left winger, striker, can do a lot of things for us. He'll be able to play on both sides and really give us some extra depth as a Spanish under-19 international. Don't know how much he's going to develop. He's not quite got that same potential as Gerardo, but we'll see how that goes. I've also loaned Charlie McNeil, a under-20 striker for England from Manchester United. Again, another option up top. Just wanted to have all those options. Really great finishing as well. He is more of a poacher than anything else, but having that ability to switch things up, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing for us this year. And our final United loanee is Amari Thorson, who can play anywhere in midfield, really, which is very good to have. I'm thinking he's probably going to mostly be contending in the right wing or attacking midfield positions where he can do really well for us. A flair play, a bit of a luxury, but I think if we give him the time and the experience, he might become a really key player for us this season. And also because I wanted a third choice goalkeeper, there's been some shake-up in the goalkeeping area. I brought in Jamie Robber. He's a Gibraltarian international keeper. I think he's the first choice goalkeeper for Gibraltar. He's only 2-star, but if I need to throw him in as a kind of emergency backup like he's been signed as, I don't think he'll do an awful job for 1 or 2 games. So I'm quite happy with him, and he came in on a free, so I can't really complain about him too much. And so having talked through the ins, we now have to talk through the outs. So Oisin McKenzie, I let him go for 105,000. I think this will be a bit of a surprise actually to most people because he's got some potential. I liked having that really tall centre-half. But I did need to make some space to be able to bring in guys like Jack, to be able to bring in guys like Burns, and, you know, it made sense to have him be the guy that made way. I didn't think he was ever going to really fulfil his potential with us. So I thought I'd just let him go, take the profit. We didn't pay for him as far as I remember. We signed him on a free. We sold him for 105k. I think that's good business. We've got a couple of sell-ons and stuff in there as well, so that should work out quite nicely. I also sold Rhino Hercules to Cheltenham for £50,000. He would have been about our 10th choice striker, and I know it looks like he would have been high up on our right winger list. He wouldn't have been. He wasn't going to get much football this season. Again, I didn't think he was going to develop much, so I got rid of him. I took the £50,000 and ran with it. He, again, cost us nothing. It's pure profit. We'll take it. Perhaps the biggest surprise out is I've sold Rob Hunt to Fleetwood for £10,000. He was reaching the end of his contract. He was asking me for a lot of money to sign an extension. He probably would have been second or third choice at right back and same at left back. He does have the versatility, but I felt like it was the time to move him on, and so I've moved him on. Another pure profit because we signed him on a free for £53,000. Tyree Shade has left us for AFC Wimbledon. I feel like League 1 and 2 is more his level, and I think he'll do really, really well for Wimbledon. I think he'll have a really good season for Wimbledon. I didn't think he was going to get in the team much for us this season, so I decided to let him go as well. I also took a gamble on selling this guy, Jeremy Chiezu. I don't think you saw him at all last season because I think I was going to loan him out, or he was in the reserves to develop. So I sold him for 140,000 to Preston. Again, he cost me absolutely nothing. I've made no loss on him whatsoever. 140,000. He might develop. He could become a really good player, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the potential in him. I'd love to be proved wrong, but I don't think this is going to be the one where I am. I also sold Larsden Donker to Portsmouth for £100,000. Same reason, really, as my decision to sell McKenzie. There you go, I remembered his name, McKenzie. It was largely just I knew I was going to have issues registering defenders this season. I thought he'd probably get more football at Portsmouth. I didn't think he was going to get much better for us, so let's let him go. Let's see what happens with him. If we cross paths with him in the future, best of luck to him, but I don't think we will. Another guy you didn't really see much of, I signed him last season as well on a free, was Sebastian Christensen. Spent the season on loan at Torquay. He wasn't developing the way I'd like him to, which is a bit sad, but he cost me nothing, and I got Peterborough to pay me £83,000 for him. And I don't think I'm going to regret him going either. Perhaps the biggest surprise out, I wanted to develop him for the future. That was my original plan. It is Thomas Mcgill. I sold him to Watford for 170,000. There are some add-ons in there as well. He was third choice. They offered me the money. I needed to take the money. I needed to get the money just to reshuffle the squad a little bit. I would have had to have registered him to keep him anyway. I've still got Walcott and Oxborough, who are going to be fighting for that number 1 shirt for the foreseeable. Tay Ashby-Hammond is out on loan as well. So it made sense to sell Mcgill on while I had the opportunity to do it, I think. And the final permanent out is Kieran Wallace. Now, I know Kieran Wallace was kind of a regular for us last season. He's had a lot of versatility. He's also 28. He was demanding a contract that was £5,000 a week or something stupid. He was a first-choice player for us last season, but I can't justify giving a what would have been third choice in any position player £5,000 a week just to keep him happy, when realistically he was a League One player. He was never going to be able to make the step up to the Championship. I just didn't feel like that was going to happen for him. We've sold him on. He's got to enjoy Luton. More power to him. Luton, by the way, are in free fall. Hopefully they'll arrest that slide. But that's our last man out. That's kind of our thing. Let me just show you what our potential first team, our best 11 looks like now, and then we'll wrap the episode up. So our best 11, according to our assistant manager, I have brought a new assistant manager who is way better judging player ability than Scott Marshall did. We've got Joe Walcott in goal. Makes sense to me. Gerardo on the right. Conroy and Jack as our central defensive partnership with Gordon on the left-hand side. Thompson and Pack in central midfield I think is a really great combination. That should be good enough to keep us up on its own. That spine there of the defensive kind of roles is very, very strong. Ben Gladwin apparently is our best left winger, so not much improvement there. But Thomas on the right wing. Williams is the attacking midfielder. He'll share that duty with Jack Payne, and he'll share left wing duties with Gladwin. And obviously we've got Mark Helm to go in there as well. Then a Gay up top, but again, Simpson is there, Jordan Rhodes is there. We've got a lot of options. We've got a lot of strength in depth. There's nothing, if you look on our strengths and weaknesses, there's nowhere that anyone is saying there is a lack of depth, which I really, really like. I think we've managed to put together a really good team for this season, and a media prediction, that's going to be where we kind of look now to see what the media prediction is for us. And they are boldly predicting us to finish, you can't see it on your screen, they're boldly predicting us to finish 24th last. But I think they're wrong. I think they're basing it on our reputation as a club, not our previous success, because Derby, who we beat to automatic promotion, are predicted to finish 18th this season. And I think, well, I know we're a better side than they are because we were a better side last season. That's our projected lineup. I think it's because the game can't handle the fact that I've got a custom tactic. I think we're going to look pretty good. I think Luke Breyer is going to be our key man. Ethan Ennis is our hot prospect. We've got a good team here. I genuinely feel like we've got a really good team here. I think we're probably looking at a mid-table finish. Mid-table would make me very, very happy. But anyway, I'm going to wrap things up now because I'm aware we've gone longer than I wanted to. Way less time than the last transfer special. Well, a little bit longer than I wanted to. So, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe for Season 3. Season 3 starts on Monday. We're in the Championship. We're playing Derby in the first game of the season, so good chance to see if we do, in fact, stack up really well against Derby this season. I think we will, but we'll soon find out. But in the meantime, guys, I've been Chasing Lamey. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Have a good one.